Okay, have you had a situation where you've had a friend come to you and say, I got a problem? Or a friend that might be going through a breakup or a divorce. And they want to share their story with you, but they just don't know how. And you, as a trusted friend, don't really know how to respond to it. So I want to share with you a tool that I call holding space. How do you hold space for somebody else, but not only just for somebody else, but for you as well? And this is a really great tool to be able to use to, number one, help your friend out, but also unintentionally, maybe even help you grow as a person. So stay tuned and I'll share with you how to hold space for yourself and for others. Hey, how's it going? My name is Eric, and as always, I'm your abundant BFF, and I'm here to help you discover freedom and abundance. Now, freedom and abundance doesn't necessarily just mean freedom and abundance in terms of the material, right? Material meaning money, cars, houses, all that stuff. But freedom and abundance also means in terms of your emotional habits and also in terms of your relationships. Your relationship with self and relationship with others. And what I've found to be a stumbling block for a lot of folks when it comes to building relationships with others and with themselves is this ability to hold space. Holding space is this beautiful gift that we all can potentially use for others, to give to others, to help them heal and grow, and also indirectly heal and grow as well. So I wanted to share with you 5 different tips on how to hold space for one another. So when it comes to holding space for somebody, let's just use a scenario. Let's say you had a friend that's going through a breakup. Or let's say you have a friend that's going through a divorce. Or let's say you want to hold space for yourself and you're going through a really tough moment and you might not have anybody else to talk to, but you want to give yourself that time and space to be able to process it. So what do you do? So step number 1 is to listen and to be an active listener. Now, normally what happens when you're listening to somebody, the normal thing that the brain wants to do is think of all the cool things that you can say to respond to sound smart or to feel like you're doing something productive. However, I invite you to turn off that little receptor in your brain and instead try to understand what the person is saying and what they're talking about by being an active listener. Instead of thinking about how you're going to respond, instead try to listen to what they're trying to say. And then when they complete their statement, instead of blurting out a response or trying to fix the problem, instead respond with, I want to make sure I heard you right. This is the challenge that you have right now, and this is the problem that's going on, and this is how you feel about it. Is that right? So number 1 is to be an active listener and an active participant by trying to understand what the situation is and understand the problem. Number 2 is avoid jumping into problem-solving mode. Now, I'm a guy, and you might be a guy or a girl, I'm not sure, but typically what normally happens is we try to feel like we're helping out by trying to solve the problem. However, us solving the problem makes the problem about us and not about them. Kind of counterintuitive. So instead of going to problem-solving mode, instead, again, be an active listener. Listen to what they're trying to say. Repeat back to them what they've said to validate what their concerns are. And instead of trying to solve the problem or trying to relate into the problem, instead just be there for them. Be present for them. So you want to refrain from answering and instead just listen. Number 3, refrain from putting yourself into the situation. And I am super guilty of this. Basically, what normally happens is a person has a situation or a problem, and in my head, I instantly put myself in a story that's parallel to that, and I try to tell them a story of like how I got out of it. And here's the challenge, right? A lot of folks, they don't necessarily want the problem to be solved by you. They just need somebody to tell about their problem. They need the ability to let the energy out, to allow this energy to come out, to vent this energy, to allow them to process it. Because many of us already deep inside, if we have the problem or the challenge, many of us deep inside already know the answer. We just need to have the opportunity to allow it to come out. So avoid centering yourself by trying to inject yourself into the story or trying to relay a parallel story or a parallel problem that you've had and how you've solved it. Because that's unfortunately not productive. Instead, just be there for the person and allow them to speak their truth. Number 4, reassure that you believe and you trust the person that's sharing their truth, or even on your own. Now, it's really challenging to be vulnerable in today's day and age. We've been taught to be tough, right? As many of us guys have been taught to toughen up, cowboy up, don't cry, things like that, where vulnerability, unfortunately, is seen as a weakness for many of us. Instead, for the person sharing, let them know that you believe them, you believe in them, and you trust them and their story. It's really important to be able to set that boundary and set that guideline to allow the person to feel safe and comfortable in sharing what their truth is, right? And that's really important, is to create this container of truth and belief, so that way a person can truly express what they need to express. And sometimes it's just a matter of saying, hey, I know you're going through a really tough moment, and some of the stuff, you might think that it sounds crazy, but I just want to let you know, I believe you, I trust you, and I believe in you, and I want to hear more about how you feel about it. Sometimes it's just a matter of making a simple statement just like that, that will allow the person that you're talking to, or even yourself, to open up fully. And number 5, be open to whatever emotions come up. Do know that when a person becomes fully vulnerable, sometimes wild emotions can come up. Conflicting emotions, confusing emotions, crying, anger, sadness, laughing, all kinds of stuff. And just be open to anything that comes up. Now, emotions, what a lot of folks may not know, emotions is an energetic expression or a chemical expression that happens inside of your body. When you're happy, your brain lets off a certain chemical reaction and you express the happiness. When you're angry, your brain lets off a certain chemical reaction and you express it in anger. Sometimes when folks don't have the ability to express it, that chemical reaction gets trapped within their body and sometimes ends up as inflammation, chronic pain, things like that. It's a scientific proven truth that that is what happens. Emotions can cause inflammation and eventually illness and challenges with health. So by allowing a person to be vulnerable, allowing a person to fully express their emotions, you're helping them process and potentially extend their lifespan. Think of that one, right? You're helping your friend expand their lifespan. Now, think of it as well too, right? Like holding space isn't necessarily just for the person that you're talking to. Holding space can also be holding space for yourself, and utilize these 5 tools to allow you to hold space for yourself if you are going through a challenging situation. Whether it's listening to yourself, whether it's knowing that you can trust everything that you're feeling within your body and telling yourself that you trust yourself, right? Trusting your intuition, or allowing yourself to express those emotions. Holding space is a really important tool and really powerful tool that can be used to help you grow as a person and also help the person that you're working with as well. So I wanted to share that with you. Holding space sounds like a simple thing, right? Oh, I'm going to listen to my friend talk about the challenges he has. But in actual practice, it's much more nuanced and can be a little bit more tricky, and it takes practice. So for me, what I like doing is I like holding space for friends on a weekly basis to allow me to practice my active listening, to allow me to practice my ability to be there for one another and what have you. So if this was valuable to you, I would love to hear how you've held space for somebody else and how it made them feel, whether it made them feel happy or settled or grounded. With that said, again, my name is Eric. I'm your Abundant BFF. As always, I'm here to help you discover freedom and abundance. Freedom and abundance doesn't just come with material wealth, although I do talk about money and Bitcoin and entrepreneurship and taxes and all that good stuff, but freedom and abundance also comes from deep within. And understanding how to hold space is a big facet with that. So if you're new here, I would love if you join us in this journey. Make new videos here once or twice a week. Just pop your comments in the comment section below. I read each and every single one of them. Make sure to hit the like button and click subscribe if you're new here. So with that said, I'd love to see you again. Take care. Peace.